Okay, everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm going to bring you a special project that I think is going to turn out really, really amazing. And these are some of the items that I'm going to be using. Flowers from Kiki's sale that I get from her store, which is a Facebook store, which I will be dropping the link down below. Bling that I also got from Kiki's sale, and actually a couple of these little pieces I got from a couple of other friends that sent me Happy Mail, but these I got from Kiki's, and I'm going to be using this piece of lace applique, which I embellished with some other pieces. I'm going to be using that. I've got some flowers to choose from. These have been made for me by Debbie in Kiki's sale. She makes a lot of different roses and cameos and all kinds of things with resin. And I know you guys know that I do work with resin, but it's not something that I do a lot of. My thing is working with bling, and I like to build things, you know, from bits and pieces. So it's nice that Debbie does these things because I absolutely love them and I love to use them, but I just don't have time to make them myself. So anyway, and then I'm going to be using some of these little sparkly foam balls that I get from a little local store local to me. And in case you're interested, I do sell these also in my Etsy shop, and I have just added all of the ones that I have for sale show purple, green, and these are like a reddish mauvish color, and I happened to find some blue ones, so I'm just putting these in as my extra little gift with these packets. So I do sell them, and it comes right now anyway, while supplies last, of the blue. They have purple, red, green, and blue, and they are marked at the same price that I normally sell, just the 3 colors. And as most of you know, most of the time I put in a gift with every purchase. Kind of, I try to anyway. So the blue ones in this case would be the gift with purchase. So anyway, I have a few packages of those right now. When I run out of the blue sparkly balls, then the gift will be something else, and I don't know what it will be. So if you don't get the blue sparkles, then you'll know that I actually ran out of them. But I will be going and trying to get some more of those as well. And I think they actually have silver and gold. So what I may do is I may get down there and mix and match some different packages with different colors. Anyway, so I will be using some of those. I will be using some triple thick, which I get on Amazon. I will put the link to that as well. This is Folk Art. This is a crackle medium that I use. This particular bottle of crackle medium I have had for at least 3 years. I get it at Michael's, and I'm sure you can probably get it on Amazon. I have not tried that yet because I've had this for so long and it works so well still. I'm going to be using some brown acrylic paint, and I'm going to be using some diamond dust. So those are the items that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to begin. One of the other things that I'm going to be using, because I'm going to be crackle painting the rest of this tin. I started it already. I did the bottom portion. Today with you, I'm going to show you how I did that by doing the top. And this is just a blank Altoid sized tin. And you can buy these blank tins on Amazon as well. I will also leave a link to those in the drop-down menu. I have a wonderful, kind, and sweet friend that sent me this heat gun. Now, if I can tell you guys how long I've wanted a heat gun for my projects that I do on my YouTube channel, and even before that, to be honest, I've wanted a heat gun for so long, and I've never bought myself one. And now at this point in time, I really could not afford to buy one, to be honest with you. I'm trying to save every penny right now. So I did not have one, and my friend Kim sent this to me just out of the blue. And Kim, I can't thank you enough for sending this to me. I tested it out actually on a couple things before this, but I also tested it out on this to do the crackle medium, and it worked perfectly. So I'm going to show you guys how I do my crackle, and we'll be able to finish it quickly with that. The other thing I'm going to be putting into this is one of my polymer clay babies that I make. I have a mold that I use to put the polymer clay into, and then I just embellished her, and she's going to be going on the top side of this box. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started before I get too chatty with you guys and waste too much time. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tin here, and I'm going to use some of this brown, whoopsie, look what I just did. This brown acrylic paint, which I just squirted a huge blob of chunky stuff out of. I've had this brown paint for such a long time too, that yeah, it's been in there a while, so I'm not surprised that there are a few chunks in there as well. So what I'm going to do is I like to use these foam brushes to paint, especially when I'm doing crackle paint, because it puts a more even coat of the paints that you're using over this, and it just seems to make everything turn out better, especially like I said when I'm doing crackle paint. But if I'm painting a tin or something, and just so you guys know, I have roughed up this tin with sandpaper. Just get like a just like a 220 grit sandpaper and go over very lightly. All you're trying to do is rough up the surface so that the paint will adhere to the tin. I didn't show you that ahead of time. I'm sorry, you guys. I had already done that because I started on the painting process before I started the video. So sorry about that, guys. But anyway, I'm just going around the outside of this, and when I do the bottom portion of these tins, I leave the tin closed. I don't worry about, I don't want to paint under the lid of the tin. And what I mean by that is that I don't want to take the paint from under here. I don't want it to go up under the lid part of this tin, because if I do that, the tin is going to open and close and open and close, and then eventually that's just going to be a scuffed up, messy mess underneath that lid. And you don't want that. Over time, it would start to look really, really bad. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay in frame here, you guys. I don't know how much I'm getting out, but I'm going to try and be more mindful here. So you see, I'm just, when I'm using this paintbrush, I'm just dabbing the paint on, getting a nice thick even coat all the way around this lid. And I'm going right up to the edge here where it's got that that little lip going around the outside. And there we've got that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little handy dandy heat gun that Kim gave me, and we're just going to dry this paint really quickly, and it dries very quickly with this heat gun. It'll only take a minute. It is a little bit noisy, sorry guys. But you're just going to go around the whole thing. This gets really, really hot. so it dries the paint really, really fast. So that quickly, this portion is dry, as you can see. I'm not getting anything on my hands. I'm going to move that paint out of the way before I end up flipping it over and getting it all over something. The next thing I'm going to do is use my Folk Art Crackle Medium. And the way that I'm going to do this, whoopsie, it's coming out really fast. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit over the top of this. And I'm going to take my little fan brush here. And I'm just going to kind of go over this and make it a very thin layer and try not to do any more brush strokes than you have to on this. You want to get as even a coat as you can get, but make sure that you do get it all over all of the surfaces that you're going to cover with the white paint. But I'm going around this all in the same, pretty much the same direction, side to side on the edges, and just edge to edge on the top, like that. So I think I have covered the entire thing. And now I'm going to take my heat gun again, and this is going to dry really fast. And I'm going to go over this crackle medium. Because this crackle paint, this has to be completely dry before you put your next layer of paint over the top. Okay, so again, that crackle medium needs to be completely dry, and you can see I've got nothing on my hands. It's completely dry, and I'm going to take this white paint, and the paint that I'm using now, I ran out of my chalk paint, and while my husband and I were at Home Depot, I picked up a quart size of this chalky finish paint by Krylon. It's working great, and so I have a quart of that, and it's going to take me a really long time to run out of that because I use a lot of white paint. I use it in a lot of projects, and so for me, I like to have enough white paint around to last me a little while. That chalk paint did not really last me very long, and I had a fairly large container of it, probably about the size of this diamond dust container. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just buy the quart, and that way I'll have it around. So I've got my paint here in this. I put it in one of those little food containers, and so I put a little bit here, put the rest away, put it in here, and use it until this is gone, and then I'll refill this when the time comes. Now I want to get a nice even coat of paint on this this sponge brush, because again, I'm going to dab the paint on, but when you're doing a crackle finish, you don't want to continuously go over the same spot more than once if you don't have to, because you'll get an uneven finish. When the crackle paint dries, it'll be uneven, and it won't, your cracks will literally sometimes go in sort of different directions. If you know what I mean. I mean, they go in different directions anyway, but there is usually like kind of a pattern direction that they generally go in. So I'm not worried about going over this little lip and hitting the other side, but since the other side is already painted, I don't want it to really go too far. There's a couple of spots there where I have kind of more brown that I might touch those and, you know, cover them with a little bit more white so they don't show up so crazy brown. But I'm going to let you guys watch once I get this on here all the way around and I use my little gun. I'm going to let you guys watch this crackle happen. It's already started to happen. But watch when I use my heat gun over the top of this. You can see it just, the crackle finish is just happening before your eyes. Look at that. And I'm doing the sides. You see that coming up? And I like that you guys can watch this happen, and that's why I was so... And there we go, that's done. I was so excited when I got this heat gun. I couldn't believe that Kim had sent this to me. And I was so excited about it because I knew now that when I did a crackle finish on something, I was going to be able to actually show you guys the process and how quickly and nicely the crackle works. I have a little wet spot here. Okay, so that's how that works. So there's the top and the bottom. And then now, hold on, I've got a couple of wet spots still on this. Okay, and then now when I open this, you can see what I mean when I say I only paint the bottom. I leave the lid closed and I paint the bottom side up to the ledge of this lip here. And that way you've got that silver edge here, but you've got a nice fairly straight line. You don't want it perfectly straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but you've got a fairly straight line going around, and it's not going to scuff up and look crazy over time, because it's going to be the way it's supposed to be. So, moving on to the next step, we're going to start embellishing this now. So, paying attention, this is the back because this is where the hinges are. Making sure that you know this is going to be your top of your tin, and this side will be what I'm referring to as the bottom, because when I'm facing it and I'm looking at it, I want to decorate it so that the artwork that goes on top of this is visible this way. So you'll see what I mean once we get it decorated, but always be sure and remember which side's which, and don't get started on the wrong side, because you'll be so mad at yourself when you get done and you realize it's opening in the wrong direction. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to put on here is, this is again an applique that I have decorated with some other sort of embroidered flowers and little ribbon flowers and things that I had laying around. And I like to use these as embellishments, but sometimes I like to embellish them a little bit more rather than just the white applique. I like to add to it and give it some color and some pizzazz as well. So I just add some little silky flowers and things like that, and it makes it very, very pretty. So the thing is that this, as you can see, is a little bit too big for this tin. It kind of flops over, so I will be cutting one small portion of one of these edges off, and I'll probably still use it on this tin. It'll just have to go in another spot. So I'm going to cut that off. Let's see, we'll cut that there. I just have to make sure I cut the pieces off in the right spot so that I don't make it look weird. Okay. Okay, so I actually meant to cut this one off and not the other one, but that's okay. We'll just have it going this way instead. And this side, what I'll do is I'll just take that leaf and I'll glue it down going over the side. So that's okay. So we're going to just take this, and since this is sort of our main bit that's going to go on here, we're just going to start gluing this applique down. so that it stays in place. And I want to make sure I put it in the right place. Or the place that I intended it to go. So I hope everybody is doing well with this whole epidemic, or pandemic, I should say, not epidemic, pandemic of the coronavirus going around. I know it's been kind of scary for some people. Since I work in hospice, we've had actually, you know, a few patients that have contracted it because they're, some of our patients are in skilled nursing facilities, so that's kind of scary. That's how that looks. Looks really pretty so far. And it's just really kind of scary to watch things unfold, especially when you work in healthcare and you see sort of how many people are just getting sick. And we've had so many deaths in our county here. I'm noticing that we've just got so many cases where, you know, people are not making it too. But, you know, in comparison, you know, I have to say the majority of people are older Americans, so we need to take care of our parents and our grandparents and make sure that they're safe, and that we don't, you know, go around other people and then go up and give them a big hug, because it's kind of not fair. So, and I think that's what's happened, is that people have, you know, healthier people, younger people have brought it into facilities, skilled nursing facilities from the outside, and they are so much more vulnerable than the rest of us are. So we just have to be so careful and take good care of our family members and friends. So anyway, okay. So we've got that on there. The next thing that I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my baby on there, because I want her to sit in the corner. So I'm just going to take my hot glue, and I really should not have done that first. I'm going to take a little bit of E6000. Oh, of course it's not going to want to open for me. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness, my hot glue's gonna dry. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of E6000 in a couple of spots here and pray that my hot glue did not dry. And I'm gonna put her right sort of smack dab on the corner here. And I'm just gonna press her down and hold her like crazy. And you'll notice I went with purple on this because purple is my favorite color. And I even gave her wings have purple and white feathers in them. Just so that you know, the white ones are at the bottom, and then I put purple over the outside. My friend Judy sent me a ton of really cool and colorful feathers, and I just got so many colors. And I've been playing around a lot with my feathers too. So thank you, Judy. You know I love my feathers. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of determine how and what else I want to put on here. I'm going to cut this up because I know I'm going to use one of these little purple blingy pieces somewhere on this. So I just want to get these little... Jujubee. No, no. Sorry, that was my dog. I've got my husband outside talking to the neighbor, and she gets mad if she's not out there with him seeing what's going on. So she's upset that he's talking to somebody that she doesn't get to talk to. So, so she's going to let him know. Okay, I'm going to use this other blingy piece too, but I had to take the brooch piece off of the outside of it. And then I think what I'm going to do, I don't want to cover my little girl up too much. And I don't want to put too much stuff on here because it's going to take over the whole look of the piece. So I'm just trying to be somewhat generous with my pieces, but not overdoing it. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I want to use and how much I want to use of everything. And actually, I think I'm going to take this flower here, which is another one that I got from Kiki's sale, and I think I'm going to take the bud piece out of the middle, just like that. I'm going to take this rhinestone piece and I'm going to put that in the center of the flower. And it's going to look gorgeous on this edge here. So we're just going to take and put a dab of hot glue there and drop that rhinestone piece in and press it down. And see how pretty that looks? So we have a different flower, and now we have that, and we have the bud that's left over that I can use on something else later on. So I got 2 flowers in one. I do that quite often. And it does make my flowers last a bit longer. I'm going to leave, sometimes I leave the greenery on, sometimes I don't, on the back where the leaves are. This time I'm going to leave it on because I want that added touch of color from the green that's in this. And then I think I'm going to take this little piece of bling. I just have to figure out where I want it to shoot out from. Or do I want to go with something a little less? Nope, I'm definitely wanting whoops. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to place everything so that I get my pieces exactly the way I want them. So I think I am going to use this. I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 on this because I am going hard surface to hard surface, and I want that to stick and not come off. And then I'll put a dot of hot glue up in this corner and flip that baby over, and we're going to put it coming out of that flower right there, almost like an extension of that flower. And I'm just going to press it for a minute. And I think I'm going to put this pretty purple resin flower. Also, I want to use a little bit of E6000. Just a dot. Just a dab will do ya. And then I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue. And we're going to put that next to the baby's feet. Okay, and then I have these little sparkly balls, and I wanted to use some of these in this project so you guys can see how pretty they are. They're really, really sparkly. And like I said, I get them from a little local shop here. And I have some of these purple ones on my baby, so I want to add them around the outside of this to kind of give that, to add that color in some other spots. So I'm just going to kind of casually go around and place some of these in different spots. And it's probably easier for me to dab the glue down there and then set down my little purple doodads. They add just, I can't even explain it. They add color and texture to the piece, and they almost add kind of almost a more almost vintagey look to the piece as well. So, and I do like that. And then I'm going to start putting a couple of green ones in there in a couple of spots. They are so, so pretty, you guys. You're not going to believe this. This tin is probably going to be one of the best ones that I've ever done. And honestly, I took this baby, I had it in my shop, in my Etsy shop. And I had made her and had her sitting on top of a little flower. This little flower. And, you know, she had been in my shop for so long, I thought, you know, I need to do something different with her, because obviously that look was not something that that was selling. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do a video and I'll change her up and do something a little different. And so this is what I came up with, and I'm so glad I did. She is just adorable. And actually, I'm going to use this rosebud, and I'm going to put this over off to the side, kind of coming off to the side of the tin over here. And let's see, another purple one right there. Another purple one right there. And this teeny tiny little purple one. I think I'm going to put that right over here. Those look so pretty on there. And then I think I'm going to add this little leftover piece of applique that I had sitting there, and I'm just going to kind of add it in here at the top for some added height on the piece. Okay, so actually I'm going to go ahead and try and put the rest of these little green sparkles on here too. I'm going to put a couple back here behind the baby, just as a little extra decoration back in the back here. And then we're going to add our triple thick and our diamond dust. Oh, that does not complete this. I completely forgot, you guys. I need to add some rhinestone. Actually, it's not going to be rhinestone this time. I'm going to add some of this pearl and rhinestone around the outside, the outer edge of the top part of this lid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bead of E6000 around the entire outside top of this lid. Okay, close up the E6000 so it doesn't dry out. And I'm just going to go around the outside with this piece. And this will finish it off, and it just gives that added touch that the piece needs to look completely finished. And we're going to cut that off right at this little rhinestone here. And right at the corner here, we're going to press it down. And actually, I think in a couple spots, I think I'm going to add a touch of hot glue just to hold it down for now while it's drying. And I think I want to put some hot glue back behind where this lace is over on this edge here. press that up against there. And anywhere where you see that you've got, you know, maybe a piece that needs to have some extra reinforcement for now, just stick a little dot of hot glue behind it. Okay, so we've got that on there. And now the final touch is going to be to use some triple thick. We're going to just put a little bit of this in a lid here. That's our triple thick. And we're going to take a brush, any brush will do. And we're going to just start putting some of this triple thick around for the diamond dust to stick to. We definitely want to make this flower sparkle. So just take that around. Make sure you get a decent amount, but not too much, not so that it's, you know, globby looking. It's going to dry clear. It goes on a little bit milky, but it's going to dry clear. Just so that you know, this triple thick is like a glaze. So it's going to look really pretty when it dries. And then I put some on my appliques here, especially on the white portions of the appliques because it makes them sparkle. And then a little bit sort of in between the flowers and on the greenery of the flowered ones. Now I get these appliques here, or the trims and things, I get those all from Kiki's sale. So if you get onto her page on Facebook, which I will have a link up for, she doesn't always have the same things, you guys. So you have to be patient. You have to, you know, sometimes it takes a while before she might get something back in that she's offered in the past. So you just kind of have to wait a little bit and, you know, it'll come around, or she'll get something even better that you can use in your projects. So just be patient, but usually about every other Saturday night, Debbie has a sale. She's very thoughtful, very kind. She's a very hardworking lady that wants to make everyone happy, and so she tries to get things that people ask for. She will even ask everybody, you know, hey, is there something special that you want in the store right now, you know, so that she can add those items for her next sale, you know. So she asks. She's very kind that way. She's very thoughtful, and she loves her groups. So if you go in there and you sign up for to join her group, be nice to her. She's a nice lady, and she deserves only the best. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. But Debbie is amazing. So get on over there, join the group, and I'm sure that you will see some wonderful things that you can't live without. Okay, so now we're going to start putting the diamond dust on. So you can see this is something I also get on Amazon. I will put a link down below for the diamond dust so that you know where to get it. This is by Craft. As you can see right here by my thumb, whoopsies, right here it says Craft, and it puts a very like almost sugary sparkle on everything. I just saw a spot where I need to add a little bit of triple thick. Okay. And then what I'm doing is I'm just fairly generously spreading some of this diamond dust around all over the top of this piece. And I need to put a little bit more triple thick to the back here. Oh shoot. Here I am saying don't glob it, and I got a little glob on my stuff back here, so I'm going to have to wipe that off. Just try to be really, really careful with it because it can get messy, and you don't want to mess up your little piece by getting too much triple thick on it. And I'm going to have to cut off a little bit of the feather here because it got that stuff in it, and that you can't fix, just so you know. So now I'm just going to add a little bit. Thankfully I have enough feathers there, and honestly you can fix it. I take that back because you can always add more feathers to the piece. So don't worry too much about that. And then I'm just taking my finger and I'm just kind of tapping this down in some places because I don't want that to stick up, because the one thing that you have to remember if you're going to use diamond dust, and you don't have to do this project, that's the beauty of it. You can do this in any way you want. Diamond dust is shards of glass. So read the labels when you buy it. Make sure you're careful and make sure you don't work with this with or around small children, because it is glass. I mean, I'm not getting any in my finger. I have never cut myself with it, but it can happen, and you just need to be really careful with, you know, how and where you're using it, so that you don't hurt yourself or somebody else. So just be very careful with it. It's not a product that should be used around kids. That's my number one warning. If you're going to use diamond dust, don't use it with or around children. So, okay, this is my finished box. Look at the sparkle in there. Oh my goodness, it is so adorable. I just love it. And there's our little baby's face. Let's see if I can get her face in there. And so that's what she looks like, and she came out really, really great. And she will be going in my Etsy shop. I know right now I'm concentrating a lot of my efforts on making face masks for COVID-19. Etsy put out a call to all makers that could sew. So I have been sewing and making those, and thank goodness it has been a godsend for me, because right now money is so tight in our household and I don't have a full-time job, so my Etsy store is supplementing my income right now. And so if it wasn't for the sale of those masks and these wonderful items that I'm able to sell in my Etsy shop, we could be in some serious trouble. But for right now, we're doing pretty good. And thank you to everyone who has visited my Etsy shop, whether you've purchased something or you haven't. Thank you for visiting. And for those of you who have purchased items in my store, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate it so very much. And get on over there and check out my face masks. I've got a lot of them. I've got some bandana styles and some, I've got camo, and I've got florals and Hawaiian, and all kinds of styles. I've got American flag styles, you name it. And this weekend I'm going to be sewing some more, because I do sell them very, very quickly. They seem to sell super fast. I know the Hawaiian ones that I've got in my store right now, everybody loves them. They've got like red and white hibiscus flowers and then leaves going across them. The fabric that I use for those is amazing fabric, number one. And number two, right now I think I've got a few in my store, and they're in a bunch of people's carts already. So you know how people go in and they go from shop to shop and they start putting things in their carts. But that is one that sells out quickly. I've made a ton of those. So if you want a face mask, please go on over to my store. I sell them very inexpensively compared to what a lot of people are selling theirs from, you know, $15 to $20 a piece. Mine are $6 a piece. So I'm not trying to gouge anybody or make $1 million. I'm just trying to supplement my income by making them and helping other people out as well. So anyway, thanks so much, y'all. Blessings to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Memorial weekend. And I will be doing more videos this weekend. I'm certain of that. So be on the lookout. Thanks so much, guys. Bye. Be blessed. Oh, don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, please, please, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll get notified when I do new videos. I'm about 200 subscribers away from hitting the 4,000 subscriber mark. So once we hit 4,000, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, you guys. And, you know, hopefully maybe I'll give away something like this or one of my other projects. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But make sure that you tell your friends, share my videos on your Facebook pages if you can, or if you will. If you enjoyed it, maybe some of your friends and family will enjoy it. And that way I can get my subscriber base built up and continue making great tutorial videos for all of you. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day. Bye, guys. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to show you all this box that was my next project that I did a video on and lost the footage. My camera every once in a while will just stop recording a video, and although I had 3/4 of the video done at the time, it didn't matter because my camera also lost the video that I had already taken. So it pops up with some message that says can't record, and then it doesn't remember that it already recorded 20 minutes of a video. So anyway, I lost the video. It was really important that I show you this. This is another box that I did. This one is a wooden box. I wanted you guys to see it because I was hoping to show you the difference between the way that the crackle looks on the tin versus the wooden box. And it does come out a little bit differently on wood versus on the tins. But the other thing I wanted to show you is I did get a lot of this stuff that I put on this box from Kiki's sale. I got the angel, the appliques that I embellished. I got these little corner pieces that I did put up on the top and up or down in this corner. I got the roses that I Mod Podged onto the box here on the sides. I got those from a napkin that I got from Kiki's sale. And most importantly, I wanted to show you this trim here. This trim is some that I got from Kiki's sale. She was selling it a couple of sales ago, and she had some that she had sent to me as well. And I just think it is absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted you all to see how I used it on this box. I also put this trim here, which is some that I got from my friend across borders. My very good friend sent me a roll, actually sent me a roll of this trim, and I've been using that. And I had a roll prior to that I got from my other friend in New Mexico, had sent me some, and I loved it so much and got really excited when I got some more. So anyway, that's my other box. I'm sorry I didn't get to do the tutorial for y'all, but I did want to show you a close-up video of it. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Blessings to all of you. Make sure you subscribe, and let's get to that 4,000 mark so I can do another giveaway. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a very, very happy Memorial weekend. Bye-bye.